Okay, so chapter 2. Let's view it as a single page. So yeah, three-stick cornering. So in this chapter, we talk about some of the conventions that we use with vehicles. So how we define certain parameters of vehicles and how what are the sort of standard ways that we talk about vehicles in terms of dimensions and motions and that sort of stuff. We'll look at a little bit about low-speed cornering. Okay, so this is how vehicles behave when you're at low speed. Okay, and I'll define what low speed and high speed means as I talk about it. Okay, with high speed cornering, where it's slightly more complicated as to how vehicles go around cornering, and then I'll talk about those things with including some in-class questions. Okay, so we've got, like I said, some questions during the session where I'll get you to have a go at them. Okay, and talk about it, and then I'll go through a sort of written solution to those things. Okay, so you'll need a pen and paper as we go through the session. So we follow, when we talk about vehicle dynamics, the convention set out by the SAE, the Society of Automotive Engineers, which is a US sort of professional body about vehicles and automotive engineering. Okay, so that's what SAE stands for. And the convention that they follow is where you have the origin of a vehicle is around the centre of gravity of that vehicle. Okay, that's the convention they use. And there are three axes of motion: translational motion, and there are three rotational motions. So you've got your full 6 degrees of freedom being defined around that point. Okay. So you've got the longitudinal axis, which is forward backwards in the car. Okay, which is the x-axis. Okay, and that's motion in the longitudinal direction. So as the vehicle moves forwards and backwards, so you've got acceleration in there, you've got deceleration, as this dimension check. Okay. You have a lateral direction, which is the y-axis, and that's out to the right. Okay, and that's obviously your lateral motion, so the sideways motion of the vehicle. And then your z, which is your vertical motion, is pointed downwards. Okay, downwards being positive. Okay, and that's going to be your motion of the body in what's known as heave, which is up and down motion. Okay, and those are the three sort of translational dimensions. Around each of those axes is a rotational motion. Okay, giving you the 6 degrees of freedom. So around the front, the x-axis, you have roll. Okay, so the vehicle rolling from side to side. That's rotation around the x-axis. You have roll around rotation around the y-axis, which is pitch. So that's the squatting and diving as you're accelerating and decelerating. And then around the vertical axis, you have what's known as yaw. Okay, which is the rotation of the vehicle around that axis. Okay, so as a car goes around the corner, it will yaw. Okay, so that's it. I don't know if it's spinning or whatever, then you have this yaw. So that's what that, when we're talking about roll and pitch and yaw, those are the things you understand. Okay, there are all these sort of terms that will come into, you'll become more familiar with things like what is heave, body bounce, these sorts of things, and they're all the things that are associated with these different axes. And like I said, so those are the definitions set out by the SAE. Generally, that's pretty much what everybody follows. Okay, it can vary, depending on, what different companies and stuff will follow. I did as part of my PhD, I did some work with BMW. Okay, and they defined the centre, the origin, as the midpoint of the front axle. Okay, so everything forward of the axle had a positive x point, and everything behind had a negative x value. Okay, so they just moved the centre of gravity to be in the middle of the front axle. I'm not sure why, but that's what they do. Okay, but like I said, that's what the SAE says. So, as I said, 3 domains of motion: longitudinal, vertical, and lateral. Okay, so longitudinal domain. You've got pitch, and you've also got acceleration, braking, straight lines. Okay, vertical dynamics. So that's bounce, pitch, and roll. Okay, so these are the things that will change, because obviously there's a lot of them will impact each other. So pitch, obviously, there is a vertical component of that. The front and the side, obviously, well, there's a vertical component of that as well. And bounce, obviously, that's just up and down. And then lateral dynamics, you've got yaw, pitch and roll, if you've got acceleration and deceleration at the same time, and cornering. So yeah, so like I said, those are the sort of things that you can see the longitudinal dynamics is in a straight line. The road will impact the vertical stuff, and then obviously if you're cornering, that's when the lateral stuff starts to come into play. Okay. So those are the sort of things that you need to consider. Now this is a bit more of a complicated diagram, okay, and it's more to do with roll, so we'll look at it again in chapter 5. Okay, so when we talk about cornering, we divide it into low speed and high speed cornering, okay, and there's a difference in the low speed is very simple, okay, basically lateral accelerations are very low, so we're talking 1 or 2 meters per second square, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 g, that sort of stuff, and basically the lateral acceleration is so low that the tyres don't develop any lateral forces themselves. Basically, the tyre will go in the direction in which it's pointing. Okay. So, like I said, that's essentially what's going on. Okay. So, as you imagine your vehicle, you're moving very low speed in a car park, and you put some steering rock on. Those tyres aren't generating lateral forces themselves; they're just rolling in the direction in which they're pointing. Okay. And we've got essentially a picture here of a planned vehicle. And you can see that the radius of the corner, R, is quite low. The length of the vehicle, L, is the wheelbase, obviously, and then there's the track. And then you've got those delta, okay? And delta is the symbol we use for steering angle, okay? In radians or in degrees, obviously. And you can see that when you're low-speed cornering, the radii that the front two wheels will track around are different, depending on whether you're on the inside or the out. So here we've got delta I and delta O, in and out. Okay, and so you can see that those angles are slightly different, and that's due to the fact that the radii, from the turn centre to those wheels, is different. So obviously the angle at which the follow around is not. For the low speed cornering, the turn centre will always be on a line projected by the rear axle. Okay, because as I said, the wheels will go in the direction in which they're pointing. And so, like I said, you can define where that turn centre will be, because the back wheels are going to be going straight forward. So perpendicular to that will be the turn centre, where all those lines intersect. And that will give you, and the radius R is basically towards the centre of gravity of the vehicle. Okay, that's how low-speed turning works. And assuming small angles, there's obviously a bunch of trigonometry going on there, but you can, if you assume small angles, a lot of that disappears. You've got equations representing the outer and the inner steer angles. Okay. So obviously you've got these, and then you can see that the outer one is going to be less than the inner one because you've got a plus in the denominator, you've got a minus in the denominator of the inner one, inside one. So one is bigger than the other, and that makes sense. And it's to do with the track width. Okay, but obviously what you can do is you basically average them two together. The T over 2 term disappears. You end up with what's known as the Ackermann angle, which is the average steer angle of the front and the back. And sorry, of the side, different sides. And so if you've got a steer angle, and you know the length and the radius of the corner, you can work out what steer angle you would need in low speed conditions to go around the corner. Okay. L upon R. That will give you a number in radians. Obviously, if you want to convert it into degrees, then you have to multiply it by 118 divided by pi, and you get the value in degrees. Okay. So L upon R will give you the steering angle in radians. Okay. And that's the steering angle at the front wheel. Clearly, the steering wheel angle, the thing you control the car, there's going to be a ratio in there that will, a certain amount of steering angle will give you a certain amount of steering of the wheel that is doing the steering. Okay. So obviously we need to compensate. Like I said, the tyres will be pointing in the direction of the polar. Okay. Because the other thing that's worth bearing in mind is the value of L and the value of R certainly is going to be a lot bigger than the track. So so the track will essentially disappear as you increase R and L. Okay, so those are the important points there.
There is subscript O9.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Outer and inner, so irrespective of which way it's going. Are these this year's actually? No, the ones that we ready. Fantastic. So, that's an in-class question, okay? So for a vehicle with a wheelbase of 2.4 metres, travelling at low speed around a corner of a radius of 50 metres, calculate the steering angle required in degrees. Okay, so it's a very simple calculation. Like I said, get a pen and a piece of paper. Like I said, the question is in the notes, so you don't actually need to write the question down, but like I said, you can so ICQ 2.1 is this question. Okay, so this is obviously the problem, and in the notes, the vehicle, so obviously we've got L and R there, so L. 2.4, R is 50, so delta is going to be L divided by R, so that's 2.4 divided by 50, but obviously we want to get it in degrees, okay, so we need to multiply it by 180 divided by pi. That's the conversion between radians and degrees, okay, and obviously you just get out your calculator and you just do one after the other. So we've got 2.4 over 50. Okay, so the front wheels will be 2.75 degrees. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so vehicle wheelbase 2.4 metres, we've worked it out 2.75 degrees. Okay, now high speed cornering, like I said, is a bit different.